And when you're growing up in the country, you know that all around are a bunch of gravel roads. And that's just different. Navigating gravel roads, especially when you're a beginning driver. I mean, that's where we all learned how to drive around those gravel roads. And I don't know if you have any experience with this, but in the spring, when the snow starts to melt, and it does eventually do that in this part of the country, no guarantee of what month that might be, but when the snow starts to melt, those gravel roads just turn into pure muck. They're just a mess. And then, you've got pickups going up and down the road and cars and whatnot. And then you'll have, the little freeze that comes back in. And now you have frozen ruts in there. And they can be really dangerous. I'm telling you, if you just don't navigate those just right, it can just throw you off into a ditch or something. And yet, if you go too slow in order to stay in those, if there's been a little bit of a thaw, then they get real mushy again, and you could get stuck if it's really bad. I mean, they're dangerous. I'm telling you, some of you have stories to tell, I can tell. And see, for me, it's the driving slow part. I mean, my kids don't call me Motorhead Mama for nothing. That's my nickname, and they know it. It's probably because when we sit at stoplights, and there'll be another minivan, or it's even better if it's like a fancy little sporty car, and me and my Mama Mobile, and I sit there and I'll go, ring, ring. Anyway, so I've got that title, honestly, but ruts are dangerous no matter what, and you do need to slow down when you're driving in those. And yet, I think we all have ruts. I've worn some ruts from my computer chair to the refrigerator, and from the kitchen to the laundry room. Got a few ruts going on there. Some of us have ruts going from our place of work to Starbucks, right? We've got some ruts there. Oh, I'm seeing hands. Yes. We're confession time now. Where are your ruts taking you? And yet, I think sometimes our ruts don't take us where we mean for them to go. And we mean to be wearing a rut to Jesus, and we're just not, because we're stuck in these other ruts. And we have different attitudes about those ruts, don't we? I mean, sometimes we're stuck in a spiritual rut or whatever kind of rut, and we think, you know what? I am happy in my rut. You just leave me alone. This is my rut, and I can be here if I want to be here. Thank you very much, right? And then sometimes don't we think, okay, this whole rut thing not working so much for me, but if I'm going to get out of this rut, then I'm going to have to make some changes in this part of my life and in this part of my life, and quite honestly, that sounds like a whole lot of work, and I'm too tired, so I'm just going to stay in the rut. And then there are times that maybe we think, I'm in the rut, and you know what? I need out of here. I don't care what it's going to take. I am willing to overcome the hurdles, the obstacles, the danger maybe of crossing over and having to, renegotiate the road here. I'm willing to do that. And then there are some of us who are actually on the road paved with holy enthusiasm. But we know that if we're not careful, pretty soon that enthusiastic devotion that we've got going is going to become routine motion, and we're going to form ourselves another rut. And we're not going to be doing what we want to do with the kind of enthusiasm that we want to. Now,